So there's a couple things I want to bring to our attention, just things that are coming up that it's good for us to all be aware of, just to give you a highlight of what's coming up. And the first is that Sunday night, April 19th at 6 p.m., we're going to be having another prayer meeting via Zoom. And you can find information about how to log into that at graystonepc.org, as well as if you are not comfortable using that with computers, you can still call in, and there's information about how to do so listed there. As well as the email that I send out this morning to let people know about the service also contain that login information. So check your email if you didn't get a chance to see that, and there'll be details in the comments below about how to get connected here. The second thing is that at the end of this month, on April 26th, we're having a special congregational meeting it's Sunday night, April 26th at 7 p.m. This will also be via Zoom, finding a way to get enough spaces for all of us to be together. It was a little tricky. That platform worked well for this. But this meeting is specifically just to nominate the congregational representatives for the pastoral search committee to begin the search for the next lead pastor of Graystone. And we were supposed to have this meeting in person the very first Sunday when all of this hit, and we did not physically meet. So this meeting is a rescheduled meeting for that exact purpose. Now, I have to read the particular text the way it's written, just for the sake of this being a called meeting. It's a little businessy, but this is the details, and I'll explain a little bit about what all this means. So the called congregation meeting previously scheduled in mid-March is now scheduled as an online or phone-in meeting, scheduled for Sunday, April 26th, 2020 at 7 p.m. Please start calling in after 6:30 so that we are all ready to begin at 7 p.m. The elder and deacon representatives for the committee are Elder David Hill, Elder Rob Brown, and Deacon Dave Irvin. And the nominations are Linda Blacksmith, Linda Blakely, George Cariff, John Thompson, and Brooke McGinnis as the alternate. This congregational meeting is an important thing for us to have and for us to be a part of. It's also a great chance for us to come back together, to get to see one another. So this is specifically for the members of Graystone. Just need to make sure that we're aware about it. But as we come into this time, as we consider what God has done, as we focus our minds through our call to worship, as we remember our sin in our prayer of confession, it's also good for us to give thanks. Not only for all of the things that God has done, all of the things that he's doing in our midst, the way that he is working to help us and to be with us in these times, but because there's so many even simple things that God has given to us, beautiful little blessings that we sometimes overlook. And in times of fear, gratitude is especially important. And so I want us to take a moment just to pause and to thank God for the things that he has given us. And I have a simple prompt. So I want you to stop with the people around you, or if you're by yourself, to just say this out loud, to just pause and to think over the last week, the things that you can thank God for. It could be a delicious meal that you cooked. It could be a wonderful movie you enjoyed, or a book that you're reading, or a conversation that you had. But the many things that we have, maybe even a sweet moment with God, a revelation you did not anticipate. But I want you to just take a moment to pause and to say out loud. If you're in a group, have everybody share something, because there's always something that we can be thankful for. So just pause and say, thank you, God, for, and just give those things to him as an act of worship and praise, because he has blessed us for many beautiful things. And so it's good for us to appreciate them. Take some time to do that. As we reflect in worship, we also reflect in the way that we give back to God. And our offering, you can either respond in one of two ways. You can either mail a cash or check to 640 Church Street at Indiana, Pennsylvania, 15701. That's a simple way to give, and many people have continued to send their checks that way, and we greatly appreciate that you're doing that. As well as you can go to the website, to graystonepc.org/give, and make a payment there as well to help support the church and to support the work that God is doing through the ministries of Graystone. It's been really neat to see how people have continued to respond faithfully, to continue to give to the work of the church so that we can honor our commitments to our staff and to our missions partners, as well as so that we can continue to do the ministry that God has called us to. We don't know how long this is going to go, but we do know that God is not done with our church body, and he's not done with our community. And so we have work to do to continue the movement that God has put in front of us, and in this season that God has put in front of us. So thank you for your faithfulness in continuing to help us support the work that God's doing. We're excited to see how God is going to maneuver us and move us to serve and to care for our community and to continue to lead into his truth in this season. So we are going to continue in worship as we give thanks to God and as we celebrate the fact that his mercy is sufficient, that his mercy is bigger than the hurts that we bring and bigger than even the joys that we have. So as we continue in worship, let us praise the God whose mercy is more every day, just for the joy of who he is. Let's give this to the Lord.